Welcome to Man vs. Meeple. It is the eve of Gloomhaven madness because it is now at warehouses everywhere.
Yeah, and starting to slip out there, right?
I know. Yeah. We have been bringing you guys a small series of our playthroughs. David, myself, and Gary. We had Isaac on the show. We have two incredible guests with us today. We have James Hudson, who is from Druid City Games. He came down to play some games with us, so we thought we'd bring him on to play this, give you our thoughts about it once again. And we have Josh McDowell, who is the...
Well, can I interrupt you?
Yeah.
I'm assuming you're like IDing people.
Yeah.
So I always make IDs for people, but I never get to make one for myself. So I made one. Yeah, you have to use mine.
Is this crazy?
No, it's very tasteful.
Okay. Well, this is Josh McDowell. He is the graphic designer for Gloomhaven, and he has an incredible creative skill with the stuff that you do here.
Thank you.
This stuff looks really good on the table. Most people take for granted what graphic design means to a game. Most people look at art and say, yeah, the art is good, but it's got horrible wrapping around it, right?
Exactly.
And this game looks good from beginning to end.
Yeah, the cards are a perfect example because, like you said earlier, you don't do the art, say the hammer on that card, but everything else on that card you did.
Yes.
And that is a great looking card without the hammer, but with the whole thing is excellent.
Thanks.
And you've been doing this for a little while, right?
I've been doing motion video graphics for 15 years.
Yeah.
So I've been doing graphic design, but this is really my first game from beginning to end.
Okay. Are you a gamer?
Yes.
By nature?
Yeah. I've been for about 5 years now.
What was the first thing you worked on?
Isaac's first game, Forge War.
I came in at
that. Okay. Yeah, he hired me to do the Rulebook, and then the mine tiles. So I came in to work on those, and then once I was in the midst of those, his original designer bailed, just from life, got in the way. So I kind of took it over and refined some stuff and changed one card design, but it was mostly his design. So I laid out punch boards, got the printing.
But it's not just graphic design you do.
Yeah.
You do a lot of video motion stuff for companies as well. What kind of experience do you have there as well?
I've done some videos for TMG.
Yeah.
Some of their more recent Kickstarters, and then I did Scythe, which is probably the biggest one.
It's a beautiful video.
Thank you.
It's
Yeah.
awesome.
Probably his greatest work is our What's Next intro.
And the What's Next intro.
For us. Yeah, much appreciated. What else are you working on right now?
Right now, I'm working on Isaac's next game, Founders of Gloomhaven.
Okay.
It's a much smaller game.
Sure.
And he's hoping to kickstart it soon.
Okay.
And then I'm doing just one item for Charterstone, which is
Boom. Yeah.
fun.
We all talked about that on our top 15 most anticipated.
Yeah.
We all really eagerly anticipate that because that's on our wheelhouse. I mean, we love worker placement games. Let's talk about this. We played another scenario tonight. Spoiler alert, we'll have this all throughout the videos.
Yes, it's a big spoiler alert. In fact, this isn't a spoiler, but I didn't play tonight.
I know.
I kind of helped facilitate. James filled in for my character.
Is that why we won tonight?
That is probably why you won.
Get this, Isaac. I know you're watching this, but we won, and he played the Brute, and you played the Brute. So that's huge. What'd you think, man?
Yeah, it was my first experience with it. I thought it was great. I really enjoyed the card actions, the top-bottom action, and how that just really, you gave a lot of actions and a lot of, what am I going to do here? How do I make this work? Things would change. You would predetermine what you thought you were going to do, and then you would get in the middle of it, and 3 people would go before you. The whole board changes, and you're like, okay, I guess I'm going to do this now.
Yeah.
So you have to kind of recover.
I love that. That hand management portion of it is what really,
it's
really
a real
makes
dungeon,
that game.
right? If you're rolling a dungeon, you don't get to just pre-plan.
And don't you like not rolling dice? I mean, how cool is that? You know what you're going to do. You know what your attack's going to be going in. Yes, there's some battle modifiers, but as you level up, you become better with those battle modifiers. So I love that. This is the first time you've seen the actual final product.
Yes, yeah.
That's crazy to think that you did all the graphic design. You haven't actually seen this yet.
I saw the first pre-production copy.
Yeah.
But as soon as Isaac gets them, he's sending them out. So I just didn't get over there to see him.
And how many times have you played this prior?
One time I played the Isaac's first prototype, so everything was on just cut out paper and some
How's
clip
that
art.
Possible?
That's so much.
I mean, that's kind of indicative of this industry, though. People don't realize how much work, actual work, goes into doing all this. People don't sit around and play games all day. There's a lot of work that goes into actually designing this stuff. It's a full-time job on top of your already full-time job, right?
Yeah, it was a lot of work. We worked on it for a year and a half, I think, is what it ended up being.
Wow.
So
that's a crazy amount of time.
A lot of nights and weekends.
So we this was our
I don't know. Probably
like
sixth or seventh, maybe.
Unique scenario.
Unique scenario,
This
right.
one we did Crypt of the Damned, which is an earlier scenario. It's the number 4 possible thing you can do out of 95 or so.
And that doesn't
scenarios.
necessarily mean it's easy or anything
No.
like that by any means.
Not by any means. We didn't fight any bosses, but we did fight some things that were unique that we haven't fought yet. We fought
Yep.
wind demons, and we fought
Earth demons.
which had a ton of hit points. And then we fought cultists, which are awful because these things summoned living bones, and it hit us 3 times.
Yeah.
But we still managed to get through the scenario.
Yeah.
It's pretty impressive.
Unless you hang out in the back and then you don't get hit.
Yeah. What do you think of the Tinker? What do you think of his abilities?
I enjoyed him. I could see where if I was building that out on a regular basis, you could either build almost like a full healer, you could build some pretty interesting damage combinations, or you could build some sort of crazy hybrid, half heals, half damage throwing, and the little toys that it's got are pretty cool too.
Yeah.
And you didn't play the Brute before. You played the Spellweaver.
I played the Spellweaver. Yeah, and I feel like I could have played the Brute better.
Yeah.
My initiative management wasn't that great, so
Yeah.
every time I felt like I was just behind. So by the time I'd go in to get, I'm gonna whack some enemies this time, and everything was
played
cleared
it
out.
quite a bit different than Isaac played it.
Yeah.
Isaac played it as kind of a shielding sponge, right?
Right.
He would sit
Yeah.
there and shield
Yep.
for
Take
us.
the aggro.
And you played it more of a damage dealer, right?
Yeah.
Which was unique.
He
And that's-
tried anyway when he
and-
could get in there and
I mean,
actually
would
swing
try,
In
yeah.
the game, it really helped.
Yeah, towards the end, I was
You're
able to
really
get in
damage
position.
out.
Yeah.
And that's the cool thing about this game too, is that people don't realize these classes aren't set. You played it mostly your Tinker as a healer. You played it
have
a little
been.
bit as a healer and more as a damage dealer as well. But you can play these characters in multiple different ways.
Right.
And as you level up, then you can refine it more.
Exactly.
So, because I was just playing with the starting cards.
Yeah.
I'd be anxious to see what the extra ones are.
I know that's a huge
Yeah.
disadvantage coming into an already set scenario where people have already modified their battle decks. You know, I've had 3 sets of perks in here, so I've removed a lot of my -1s, a lot of my 0s, and added cards that are beneficial. You've done the same.
Yeah, it's still pretty cool though that someone like you can play a game one night, and if you have a new player, they can jump in with a character.
Yeah.
I really like that.
And what's really unique too is we're still level 1 prosperity. We haven't hit any scenarios that have leveled that up for us. But as you level up and your prosperity goes up, if new people join you, they'll come in at that prosperity level. So you could come in as a level 4 for all like level 6 or 7. So that's a possibility. What do you think, man? You've played this as many times as we have.
This game is just getting better and better. I finally got to level 3 tonight. I'm looking at the level 3 cards I can add to my deck, and I'm like, whoa.
Oh, I didn't know you did.
Yeah, so I leveled up to level 3, and they're just going to be awesome.
Did you do your perks too?
I did do my perks, and so I've added a couple push cards.
Nice.
So after, if they come up in my deck, I can push somebody and still continue on my modifier.
Nice.
Because with the Crag Heart, you can push into obstacles, destroy the obstacles, get experience, cause damage.
Yeah.
It's awesome. I love the Crag Heart.
Yeah.
What I enjoyed about tonight, facilitating, I was peeking inside the book to see what was going to be happening. So while you guys were playing, I knew that this
Cheater.
And
Oh, yeah,
again,
this was big.
spoiler alerts if
Yeah.
you didn't hear before. I knew what was in the treasure chest. So there's a treasure chest in a couple of the rooms. I knew one of them held a new item, which is pretty sweet, the Ring of Skulls.
Yeah.
And this one I knew was a bit of a trap.
But we haven't found those before.
And we hadn't seen those before. So I was sitting there waiting to see who was going to run in there and open
I was
that
about to
treasure
run in and
chest.
get it.
I had no idea that they were.
The thing was,
Mimics in the game.
if it would have happened, it really would have been kind of nearly after the end of the battle or right before
Right.
the end of the battle. So it would have just knocked someone in
Early
the face.
on, that would have hurt.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you'd gone in that room first, yes, that would
Yeah,
not
that
have
would
been
have
a
hurt.
good
Luckily,
thing.
someone was healing.
Yes. Our Tinkerer friend.
So James, did you kickstart this game?
Yes.
Do you have a group that you're going to be playing with? Does it entice you enough to want to play it now? with
If
your
I
own
can
group?
make time, absolutely. That's you can tell it's a big investment of time, but I think
Yeah.
I think it'll definitely pay off.
I mean,
It's not a filler.
Yeah, I mean, we've said that too. We, of course, do this full time, but this has taken a huge portion of our time away from the normal stuff that we should be doing. We're still pumping out a lot of material, but this game is so engrossing. You want to play it again.
And
Did you have that same feeling leaving this where you're like, now that I played it, I understand the card management, the hand management portion of it. Now I want to get into the game and start to learn a character and really understand how they work.
Yeah, I think I was at a big disadvantage. It took me a couple turns to kind of get the feel of what was going on.
Sure.
And just get the mechanics down. I think that would have absolutely not been there had I started from level 1 on a scenario 1.
Yeah.
But jumping in, it really, I thought was really great, kudos to the team, is all the icons worked well.
Thank you.
Like, it was easy to get the flow of what was happening, and then I could definitely I want to be a wizard or something. And
Yeah,
do some stuff
not
up.
to change gears, but as you mentioned, the rule book itself, you did a phenomenal job laying this rule book out. There's a lot of information in this game. It's a 50-plus page rule book. You put so many descriptors in there of examples and the way that the icons relate to the game and how and where even the back of the rule book. You forgot tonight that you put that on there, but that's a huge key. We had a question about flying and how it works. Flip over the rule book, it tells you what page to go to.
Yep.
You look it up, and it's right there.
Yeah, and thank you for saying that. I put a lot of time into trying to like remove as many of those barriers to gameplay as possible.
Yeah.
So hearing people say that it actually works well is
We've
nice
all played a
affirmation.
game where the iconography wasn't good,
Yeah.
and it really slows everything down and makes it hard to understand.
Yes.
So.
Yeah, this one's very good. Did you kickstart it, or do you even have to kickstart it?
I didn't have to
hope
kickstart
not.
it, no.
Okay.
But I do have a friend that kickstarted it, and I'm actually playing his copy, so I'll have a nice fresh copy laying around till
And these
my kids are older.
copies should be out soon, right? I mean, these are at the warehouse.
Yes,
Okay.
as far as I understand. I mean, I'm
Okay.
not in contact with Isaac every day.
Someone
but-
read that they're in Chicago, like
Yeah,
a warehouse
supposedly they
in
were in
Chicago, or
Chicago
something,
and
floating
probably here in the
around.
next
Yeah,
week or so,
Isaac said
might-
he was sending in like the shipping lists today. Hopefully, like all the spreadsheets. So
Very
That's
cool.
exciting.
And your group is also going to.
Yeah, we're getting a copy as well, and we'll be starting another group. And what's so there's so many scenarios here.
Yeah.
Talk about it is a time investment, but it's something you can just kind of keep picking up maybe once a week or something,
Yeah.
and take your time with it and really enjoy and get engrossed in the story.
Well, yeah, and you talk about. I mean, there's so much content here, but one thing people forget to mention is there's the random scenario deck too, which if you want to just like get a good hang of it before you get into the first game, you can do that. But yeah, I mean, it's
that's
like
great.
it's infinite.
Yeah, we haven't done that at all.
No,
we
we haven't did that.
I like the whole campaign concept. That's a good idea to teach for sure. But one of my favorite things, honestly, I love the game. I love the road and the city events too. I love all that flavor.
Yeah.
I like those things that happen, and then you're adding cards to decks, and you're like, oh, I bet we helped that guy, and he's gonna hook us up later, maybe.
Speaking of spoilers, we had Isaac tell us his favorite character, and I know you haven't
Yes.
played it a ton, but you've seen all the characters, right?
Yeah.
Is there one that you could spoil that you could say, this is my favorite one to look at? I think he looks cool, he's neat. Do you remember any of those?
Yeah, well,
Even
I mean,
visually, if you don't
Yeah,
want to
I
spoil
should say
anything.
all the artwork's done by Alexander. I'm gonna blank his last name.
That's okay.
He's,
That's fine.
Alexander. He's an amazing artist, and I've said this before on Board Game Geek. Like his use of light and everything's incredible. So it's really hard to like pick one.
Yeah.
But probably my favorite illustration is it's a locked character. It's called the Night Shroud. So yeah, I really like the art in that one. I'd
Cool.
love to open that one up and play it.
Yeah, I'm so interested in seeing how all these classes play.
And they're
I mean,
all unique. Yeah,
yeah.
Like they're all different. So
Guys,
crazy.
Thank you.
Yeah,
so
thanks a
much.
lot.
Thanks for
Thank
having
you.
us.
Yeah.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks for making the trip up from Alabama.
Sure, roll tide.
Yeah. Right. Josh, you need to make it out of your cave more often so you can
Yes.
come down and play with us.
Exactly.
I'd love to. Yeah.
And look forward to everything you're creating.
Thank you.
Your stuff is really, really good. Can't wait to see what you do for Charterstone, for sure.
Well, it's a small thing.
Yeah, it's okay. I know you
Mr.
can't spoil it.
Cuddington's
You
doing
can't-
everything else,
I know
and
you
it's
can't,
amazing.
Can't tell
so.
us. Guys, thanks for watching. Have fun with Gloomhaven. It's a fantastic
Absolutely.
game. Will most undoubtedly make our top 10 for 2017, even in the early months of January. This is a fantastic game. Make sure you guys subscribe to our channel, like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, and everything else that we do here at Man vs. Meeple, and we will catch you guys next time. Thanks.